And I'm Anna.
And we are filming for the BBC School Report on the topic of the new GCSE system. So, what's your opinion on it?
I agree with some of the changes that have been brought in. I think not having coursework ultimately will be helpful. I think there's quite a lot of cheating that can go on with coursework. So I think going to all exams is probably a good thing in some ways. I feel that slightly impinges on the girls' results because girls tend to like working methodically through coursework, and so they haven't got that advantage anymore. But I'm not so keen on the new grade system at the moment just because it's very unfamiliar. We've not had much guidance from the government as to what things are meant to mean. So that's a little bit messy at the moment, but I think that will get there.
So if it was up to you, would you change it? Would you keep it the same?
I would have kept the grading the same whilst they were rolling out these new curriculum changes. A-levels and GCSEs and key stage 3 assessments have all had to change. And then they changed the numbers as well. I think they could have just rolled out the changes in a slightly more staggered way.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of changes.
It's really hard on the teachers and it's really hard on students and parents to try and understand how they're progressing if they don't really understand the grading.
And what do you think is the reason why the government decided to change it from the old system to the new one?
From what I understand, I think Michael Gove, who was Secretary for Education at the time, he wanted the numbers to be international, so it's kind of reflecting more the baccalaureate situation, so that anybody around the world who got a grade 8, they knew what that meant, but actually at the moment it's a bit confusing, because now some kids are going to have A's, some are going to have merits, some are going to have numbers.
You were talking about parents before. Do you think parents really understand what's going on, or do you think they just sort of accept it because they have to?
I can't speak for all parents, of course.
Yeah.
Some probably know more about it than I do, but I think if teachers are finding it hard to navigate, then of course parents must be as well.
Yeah.
And I think all they care about, all parents really care about, is whether their kids are okay, whether they're making progress, whether they are doing well and working hard. So as long as, hopefully, people feel that they are working hard, parents' fears about the grading will not matter too much. I think once teachers are more comfortable with it and they can grade students and feel confident about how they're grading them, then the parents will feel comfortable about it. But at the moment, they're probably thinking, I don't know how my kid's doing, they don't know how they're doing, why is that? You know, it's confusing times.
And how do you think it will benefit both the students, the teachers, and maybe like later on in life, so workplaces, universities? Do you think it will benefit them or not?
It will if they understand it, but if an employee looks at a sheet and goes, oh, what's a grade 6? Then that doesn't really help.
Yeah.
But hopefully by the time you will go into employment, if every subject is in a numerical way and if everyone's clear about what that means, then yeah, sure. But if you need like footnotes to go with the qualification sheet to say what that means, then that's not very helpful either. But I'm sure, education is always going to be something that changes, always. So therefore, I think we just have to roll with it, and in a few years' time, when you're sitting your exams at year 11, it will be a lot clearer and a lot more helpful.
Right now, they're saying that not everyone in Great Britain is taking part of it. So I think Northern Ireland is sticking with the old thing, and Scotland is changing stuff. Do you think that the whole of Great Britain should change to this new system, or do you think they should all have the same system when it comes out?
I think it would probably help, but then I think that makes schools and institutions into just these robotic places where you all have to be uniform and do the same things at the same time. And that's not necessarily right. I think every school needs to make the decisions about how they implement these changes in their own way and what they think is right for their students. And some will always be first and some will tag behind afterwards, and that's just the way it's always going to be with changes, I think.
And final question, what do you think of the old system and which one do you prefer, the old one or the new one?
I prefer the old one just because it's more familiar to me, but I think once we're more confident with the new one, the new system will be just as good if not better. I think going to exams rather than doing coursework is probably a good idea for a fair assessment of kids.
Okay, thank you. That's Karis and Anna reporting for BBC's School News Report. Thank you.